Hello. I'm going to share some astro weather with you for this morning. This is for the week of Monday, February 13th through Sunday, February 19th. We're going to start our focus out really big and then work into little finite details. So all week long we have a waning moon. We're coming up to a new moon on Sunday. We've got Valentine's Day on Tuesday. There's just a lot of really lovely astrology happening this week. So waning moon, I touched on a little bit last week. That is the time for shedding, eliminating, clearing out, kind of spending more time on the inside than on the outside. So more internal, more reflective, taking time to process versus just like flying through things or committing to things so much that we don't have time to stop and breathe and do critical thinking and process what's going on. So the waning moon is a really good time for fasting, for kind of moderating your consumption of anything, whether that is information or like stimulants, like being stimulated by your environment, whether that's like caffeine or by just having lots of activities, lots of things to do, lots of actions to take. That is a very outward expression of energy. The waning moon is a more inner expression of energy. So easy to digest foods, fasting, soups, stews, those kinds of things are good things for eating. Lots of water, good quality water that helps you to flush things out. This is reverse osmosis water. It's spring water. It's the water that's really clean and that helps through osmosis to like pull stuff out and help you to flush and eliminate. Activities this week, I would say the more restorative kinds of exercises, stretching, yoga, restorative yoga, gentle yoga, yin yoga, holding those poses for long times. I really suggest adding that into your movement routine this week. Let's see, skincare, that is exfoliating, do your mask, do your scrub. Personal development and your work, and whether that's like career or just the work that you do in the day-to-day, this is a good time to think about what you're doing. Is what I'm doing serving a high purpose? Take the time for reflection and to kind of analyze the actions and the steps that you've been taking, the energy you've been exerting forward, and just make sure that it is all being utilized and it's all efficient and well-placed energy. A lot of times we get so obsessed with the action, and I think that is just kind of the way our society is that hustle, grind, do everything all the time kind of mentality. But I think that we need balance if we want to be balanced, if we want to be healthy, if we want to be like holistically minded, covering all of the bases in our own little lives. This is just the time to connect with your inner world and do that kind of end of the spectrum of things. So that is going to be with us, that theme of surrender, release, reflection, recuperation is going to be prevalent all week long up until we get to that new moon on Sunday. Again, I highly suggest reducing your consumption of anything over this week. I think that I will try to do some type of a fast, whether it's a juice fast or a water fast or a liquid fast. I'm going to try to add it in this week just to honor what the moon is doing and to really put myself into that mindset of releasing and surrendering and just kind of giving my body a break so it can process and continue to detoxify and eliminate as it needs to. We'll go in a little bit more finite with our focus now. So yes, we have the waning moon all week long, but what is that moon going to be doing throughout the week? Monday, we have the moon moving into Sagittarius. So the moon will be in Sagittarius from Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. This is when our emotional body is in a fire sign, we are a little bit more reactive. We're a little bit more impulsive when it comes to our emotions. There's a bit more of a desire to do something with what we are feeling. So whether that is like yell and scream as a result of an emotion, or like cry as a result of an emotion, or just taking some type of action as a response to what it is that you're feeling. That's a very fiery characteristic. So that is Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. Wednesday, the moon moves into Capricorn. This is an earth sign. This is when our emotional body becomes a little bit more steady, a little bit less like reactive. It is a little bit more practical. It's a little bit more associated with the tangible elements of being here. So we have a closer relationship to expectation, to structure, to routine, to that kind of realm of things in life. Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, with that moon in Capricorn, this is a really good time to do those new moon, to do the reflecting with our kind of practical mindset or our practical emotional body to support us. Just to examine your life, examine what you've been doing, examine how you've been emitting your energy or how you've been spending your energy, and just through like an unbiased lens, ask yourself if it's serving you well, or if it is serving you not so well, or if it's just like not really one way or the other. If it's just middle ground, it's just serving you. Sometimes it serves you well, sometimes it doesn't serve you well. That's important to know too. So use that practical energy Wednesday, Thursday, Friday to do some practical things, to do some practical assessments, look over things, and just make sure that your T's and your I's all have their dots and lines. And then Friday, we have the moon move from Capricorn into Aquarius. The moon will be in Aquarius Friday, Saturday, Sunday. This is an intellectual, emotional body. This is when we think through our feelings versus feeling them. So communication is going to be important, whether it is our own internal dialogue where we're communicating with ourselves, or we're writing, we're texting, we're typing, we're somehow getting what is processing on the inside out. I think journaling is probably a really good way with the new moon approaching, just so it's kind of more of a private expelling of emotion. And then you can look back at it and kind of see how things change over the course of time. On Sunday, the moon moves into Pisces in the later part of the day, and that is when the new moon is. That is at 11:06 p.m. That is a feeling placement. When the moon is in a water sign, we can feel our emotions just a little bit better. A lot of things are going to start moving into Pisces. We have the sun moving into Pisces on Saturday. The moon moving into Pisces on Sunday. I feel like there's more Pisces activity going on as well throughout the week. So let's take it in just even a little bit more focused, a little bit more finite. Let's look back at Monday the 13th. The moon's moving from Scorpio into Sagittarius. This is a little bit more of a flexible emotional body. It's a little bit more changeable. It's more, I don't know. I feel like there can be a little bit of attachment to own beliefs and belief systems, but I think the emotional body is more like quick, less lasting than when the moon was in Scorpio. We have on Monday the third quarter moon. So this is when the moon is half bright and half dark. This is your reminder, your very visible and bright reminder that we're making our way to new. We're making our way to a completely dark sky. So this is just kind of like a little bookmark. We're making the transition into a darker sky versus a lighter sky with that half illuminated moon. This just traditionally is a reminder to really focus on surrender. Move your focus away from the outside, from that brightness that's illuminating everything you can see, and take it to the inside. Take it within. Focus on surrendering. Focus on releasing. This is on so many levels. It is physical, it is emotional, it's mental, it's spiritual. So just as we go through the week, just see how much you can think about that, how much you can think about surrender, how much you can implement it, release, recuperation. Sit down with your calendar and look at when you can do it. It's important. On this day, the moon is squaring Saturn and trining Neptune. So this gives us a little bit, maybe makes us feel like we have responsibilities that we're emotionally attached to, that we can't, maybe if we don't fulfill them, then our emotional body will take a hit. We'll feel less than, we'll feel like maybe we're not enough or we didn't do enough, so we don't deserve XYZ. We don't deserve to rest, or we don't deserve to be loved, or we don't deserve to relax. That's a farce. It's a lie. You could ignore your to-do list for the whole day and you'd still be really valuable. So just check in with your emotions. Make sure you're not being too restrictive or limiting with your emotions. Having the Saturn and Neptune energy here on Monday, it can just make us feel bad for dreaming. It can make us feel bad for our emotion, because that isn't as practical and structured as Saturn. It doesn't have the responsibility and the expectation. So those two players in our lives are kind of at odds with each other. It's like the angel and the devil on your shoulder. One really wants you to do their way, one really wants you to do their way, and they're gonna kind of be like talking shit at each other back and forth. So just check in, watch how you feel Monday, watch that little voice of inner criticism, and just make sure that it's not too loud. And you don't have to listen. You can just be like, yeah, heard that. Not listening. Tuesday, February 14th, Valentine's Day, the moon is in Sagittarius. It's a much lighter placement for the moon to be than Scorpio. This is more optimistic. It's more positive. It's more generous. This is like, it's more generous. The moon's trining Jupiter. This has a Sagittarius. It's like, increases the Sagittariusness of it, increases the optimism, increases the fun. I think that it's just really cute that this is on Valentine's Day, because we have the sun in Aquarius, we have the moon in Sagittarius. That is like optimism around friendships. That is realizing that maybe like your lover is one of your best friends, and the importance of friendship in love relationships. So if you're in a relationship, then just let yourself think about how lucky you are to be with a friend. That you can find friendship in your love ship, and have some gratitude around that. I think that's a really lovely thing. If you're not in a relationship, that is okay. Fall in love with your friends, like not necessarily in a romantic way. Don't call them up and ask everyone to hop in a relationship with you unless it feels right. But just having that like undying love for the people that you call your friends and that you call your family. I think we'll see the value in friendship and love on Tuesday. Wednesday, the moon moves from Sagittarius into Capricorn. There's a little bit of difficulty on this day, and I don't want to, I don't know, I say that lightly because it all just depends. It depends how it decides to express. The only reason that comes up is there's some stuff with Venus going on. When the moon is squaring Venus, sometimes we feel like we can't get enough love and affection, or like it's almost a little bit of a neediness. Like, I just need a little bit more. I need you to be okay with that, and I need you to give it to me now. There's like this Venus conjunct Neptune can feel a little bit maybe like you have your person up on a pedestal, or there is some type of illusion going on, maybe delusion, where maybe you think of your partner in a way that isn't real, or you hold them in such a high regard that we're not remembering that they too are a real person with real needs, real feelings, real thoughts, and they get to capitalize on their experiences while they are a person. So on Wednesday, we're coming down from the lovey-dovey high from Valentine's Day. Maybe we feel like we can't quite get enough love and affection to keep us feeling good. Maybe we feel like our partner is just too perfect, or maybe it's the opposite. Maybe we're really seeing what bothers us about them. But just remember that this energy it's going to change. So that's just Wednesday. It's going to kind of shift around throughout the week. So I think probably just disregard things that you feel on Wednesday, or take them with a grain of salt and just make a little promise to yourself to come back to them and see if you're feeling the same way on Friday or Saturday, or if things have shifted. Thursday, we have Capricorn moon still. We have the Sun conjunct Saturn. This is when we feel responsibility or limitation or restriction around our personality, our ego, our self-expression. It also puts, Saturn is a really heavy player in the sky, and it adds a lot of longevity. That's one of the themes that goes along with Saturn. So when Saturn is close to your personal expression, your personality, then the things that you do, the things that you build and create using your personality as kind of like a momentum, are going to have like more glue to them. Their structure is going to be a little bit more sound, a little bit more rigid and tough and harder to break down. So while we may be feeling kind of restricted around our emotions, Moon in Capricorn is not typically very emotional. It's a little bit more practical. They might be thinking about their feelings or sorting through their feelings, organizing their feelings versus like really feeling them in their body. But we can use that like super glue of Saturn to really just be conscious what you're doing on Thursday, because it can garner a lot of momentum having that big Saturn right next to our sun. Friday, the moon moves from Capricorn into Aquarius. We have Mercury sextiling Jupiter. This is an open mind. This is an expanded mind, maybe expanded viewpoints, or maybe lots to say, like just lots of words readily available. It takes Jupiter and Mercury, and that is expansion, growth, and luck, and then like thought process, communication. So we are kind of like smushing those two together to make a big ultimate expression of both. We may have some stronger, complex emotions on Friday. The moon will be very close to Pluto. And it can be a little bit like manic, and can be a little bit like extremely happy and then extremely low. So just again, check in with yourself. If you experience anything like that, put a little note to come revisit that in a day or two and see, like, am I okay? Am I still feeling the same way? What is going on? When the moon is in Aquarius, again, we just tend to intellectualize our feelings a little bit more. So it probably won't be as much of a feeling as maybe like a nervous cycling around the ideas of the emotions. Saturday, we have the moon waning through Aquarius. The sun moves into Pisces. So this moves our outer expression from an air sign into a water sign. Things slow down a little bit in Pisces season. We get a little bit dreamier, a little bit flowier, a little bit like it's kind of hard to pinpoint which direction we're going to go. I always think of the story of Albert Einstein going to class and stopping to talk to a group of students and then being like, do you remember which way I was going? Like that just sums up Pisces energy really well. So it's really good for imagination. It's really good for dreams. It's really good for unconditional love. It brings the focus of mental health to the surface. It brings it forward a little bit more. Dealing with things that are hidden or people that we don't like is going to just kind of come to front and center stage. Sunday, February 19th, the new moon. This is the darkest day of the month. This is yeah, the ultimate day to do nothing, to let yourself truly rest and really take that surrender, release, recuperation to a bigger level. When we do that, when we allow ourselves time to come down, to be quiet and still and do critical thinking and reflection, we give ourselves like better footing for the building part of the cycle, for the growing and for the action, which we're going to be there in a week. We're going to be back into the waxing phase of exerting and building and thinking about your intentions and what it is you're trying to grow and all those seeds that you hope blossom. So yes, make sure to prioritize some rest and some digestion, some recuperation, some surrender throughout this week. And I hope everything made sense. I hope you have a good one. And I look forward to sharing more astro data with you soon.